Today we are in Big Rock Dirt Park for a new launch. It's a motorcycle and it's a new category that's getting a lot of attention these days. Yes, I'm talking about scramblers, and this is the Scram 411 from Royal Enfield. It is based on the Himalayan. It looks fresh with the new colors and all of that. I'm here to do all the trails and the tracks. I had a lot of fun, to be honest. I'll let you know how this bike is different from the Himalayan and should you consider one. So welcome to Flywheel again. This is me, Srigan. So let's first look at how the bike is different from the Himalayan. To start off, the visual differences are noticeable. You don't have that huge frame, the exoskeleton that used to be there on the Himalayan, and the headlight used to be fixed. Now it's mounted on the handlebar and it gets a new cowling with Royal Enfield here. Gets the single pod instrument cluster. It's very similar to the one on the Meteor, and the tripper navigation system is optional. So coming to the technicalities of it, the rake angle on this bike has been reduced. It's come closer by almost half a degree. That makes a lot of difference. It makes it even more nimble on this road and off-road as well. So the positioning of this particular bike is somewhere between a road bike and an off-roader. So it can do a lot. It can be your daily rider, and at the same time it can be a good off-road bike. This is what Royal Enfield claim. We are here to test it. Let's get to it, but before that I'll just walk you through a few other technical changes that are there on this bike. So first, the Himalayan used to get a 21-inch wheel, spoked wheel, but this one gets a 19-inch spoked wheel with C8 rubber on the front. Then again, the handlebar has been positioned much lower and closer, so about 25 mm lower and about 5 mm closer to you. So it makes you feel, and it gives you an easy riding position as well. Coming to the design aspects, like the tank is very similar. It comes with the same capacity. It gets an additional pod here. Basically, this is inspired from the old bikes which were in racing, which used to have a plate with the competition number on it. So it's very similar to that. It's a nice touch. It adds to the extra feel of the view, the look of the bike, because it's a relatively very simple design of the tank. So this adds some extra jazz to it. Coming to the engine, it's the same long stroke 411cc engine. Comes with 24.3 bhp output and 32 newton meters of torque, but the torque curve is very flat, so you get power from the first gear at a very nice sweet spot where you can do a lot of off-roading. Even standing up, you don't have to shift gears so much. So we'll get all of that in the ride experience. Coming back to the design, there are a few new elements like the air vents here. Rest of the bike looks almost similar, very similar exhaust. Coming to the back, again you get disc brakes, both front and back, dual channel ABS. But the thing is, it does not come with the switchable on and off ABS that comes on the Himalayan. This gets a always on system. Again, the wheels is a 17-inch wheel with 120/90 section. It's a bit knobby, gets good grip. Again, it's a C8. So let's test how good the tire is on and off the road. Apart from that, the old Himalayan used to get a split seat, but this gets a scrambler single seat, single bench seat. Then you also had a bigger rack here where you could place some small luggage. It gets deleted. So overall, this is the look and feel of the bike. It comes in 7 colors. So this is one of them, black, silver, and this nice sky blue kind of an element to it. The RO, the first 2 letters of Royal Enfield, looks really good on this, and it carries on to this side pod as well. So it comes in matte, glossy finishes. Now what Royal Enfield say is this is focused at a market where someone wants to buy the Himalayan but don't want to buy it because it's a bigger bike and it is more adventure touring focused. They want something in between that. They had seen a lot of, aftermarket, not aftermarket, they'd seen a lot of customization done on the Himalayan to make it look like a scrambler and feel like a scrambler. So to fill the gap, they've come out with this product. Let's find out how it is on and off the road. There are some technical changes to the motorcycle comparing it to the Himalayan. So this part of the video is very important. To start off, this bike is made to meet the customer needs specifically for city use. So somebody who didn't want to buy the Himalayan because it looked a bit too big, a bit too uncomfortable for city use, this bike is for you. So to start off, we will get a feel of how it rides in the city. We rode from Whitefield all the way till Kolar. So this is Bangalore and its outskirts. Bangalore notoriously famous for its traffic. But we started very early in the morning, so the traffic was not as bad. But still we got a very good feel of the bike, so here it is. The gear shifts are pretty smooth, the clutch is light, but as usual, the gear shifts sound a bit harsh, but you'll get used to it. The handlebar being much lower and closer to you makes it more sensible to get a comfortable riding triangle. The seat has come down by a few and this makes it much easier to plant your feet on the ground. Himalayan was a very comfortable bike to start off with, but this has gone up a notch and made it much more usable in the city. So the riding triangle is sorted, you sit comfortably on the seat, very good, easy maneuverability. The wheel sizes have come down from 21 inches to 19 inches. This doesn't compromise on the ride. It actually makes it much more easier to maneuver in the city. So in the city, it ticks a few ride boxes. Coming to the mileage, which is most important part of the city riding. This comes with a 15-liter fuel tank and a Euro 5 spec fuel injection system. So they've upgraded it better than the BS6. The reason for this is the bike caters to European markets as well, so it's much easier for them to get to that standards. So the average city fuel efficiency of the Himalayan has been around 35 kilometers per liter if you ride it well. So we can claim that this will stay true to that particular mileage numbers, and these are real world figures. So that's another tick again. Now let's head out to the highways and see how this bike performs for your touring needs. Himalayan was a go for all your touring needs. It could have taken you all the way to Ladakh from Bangalore if you want to. Himalayan was a proven bike for touring, but it had some issues. So does the Scrambler sort out all those things? To start off, triple digit speeds are easy. A good cruising speed is around 100 kilometers per hour. You can get up to 120 as well, but the vibrations on the foot pegs start 100 plus. These vibrations are very nominal and you will get used to after riding a few kilometers. So 120 is around a maximum cruising speed for this motorcycle with a single rider. Makes a lot of sense. Going above that is not that safe. So another box ticked. Now let's get to the other aspects. The suspension and the braking, which is very important on highways. So the suspension setup is pretty soft because it does a bit of off-roading as well. So it's a decent setup. It can take in all the big potholes and uneven surfaces on roads. So that's a good thing. And coming to the braking, this gets a dual channel ABS brake, so which is very good. It brakes on point. The brakes are not as woody as Royal Enfield bikes used to be. So that's again a positive outcome. The only thing that I felt was a bit of a question mark is the cornering ability. We didn't have a lot of twisties from Bangalore, Whitefield all the way till Kolar. So I did a bit of maneuvering at higher speeds just to understand how good it is at taking corners. The wide tires getting knobby tread and that wider tires flowing up towards the sidewall did make a bit of a problem while doing corners at higher speeds because it gave a bit of instability feed to the bike.
So this we'll have to test on a full test drive that we will do very soon. But apart from this, it ticks all the boxes on the highways as well. Now let's go to Big Rock Dirt Park to test this bike in trails, off-road, and there's also an interesting flat track bit to it. So we had a few options. We had a trail, MX track, flat track, and there was also a ride to a dam close by. But everybody ditched the dam idea and stuck to the tracks and the off-road trails at Big Rock. To start off, I went on a trail ride. We had a convoy of about 15 vehicles, and we started going into a trail which is about an hour long, and we had all sorts of surfaces. There was gravel, there was rock, there was a bit of puddles and some huge dips, and a few places where we needed to cross ditches over a small rock. So all this was fun. Now getting to the actual main point, how does it perform on the trails? With the downsizing of the wheels at the front, it definitely does not make a big difference, because Himalayan's 21 inches were perfect for those fast trail rides. But this doesn't make a big difference, because the trails, even though they were challenging, it could take all of that with ease. You didn't feel out of control, or you didn't feel scared to do a particular part of the trail. So that's the best part. Standing and riding is pretty good. You get good control, but since the handlebars a bit lower, you feel that you need to, bend down a bit to get a good grip on the handlebar. So apart from that, it can take on any trail with ease. So it is a very versatile bike, I can say till now. But let's also check out how this thing performs on the flat tracks. Coming to the flat track, yes, Royal Enfield does have its custom built Himalayans for the flat track, but we rode the stock Scram 411 on this particular track, and I'll tell you, for a rookie like me, getting a first-hand experience on the flat track was nice. First thing, you don't have front brakes. So there is no brake at all on the front, and you don't actually brake on a flat track. So we had a bit of training and went straight into it. Flat tracking is very simple, or can I say it's very simple. You start the bike, you go all out on the straight, enter the curve, give in more throttle, pull the rear part of the bike out so the rear wheel is spinning much more, and you are pointing your handlebar in the opposite direction that you want to go. Sounds interesting? Yes, it is very interesting. I had a small crash too, trying to push the bike a bit too much. So this was a nice experience. Yes, we are not promoting flat track racing through this particular bike, but it gave you a feel of how dynamic this bike is. So overall, the Scram 411 is a very versatile bike, because it could take on a lot of trails, flat tracking, it rides well on the highways and the city. So Royal Enfield aiming this at a set of customers who are interested in adventurous activities on the weekends, but they still want to use the bike for their daily commute in the city. It does tick all the right boxes, and with the proven chassis and the engine of the Himalayan, this is a good platform for the bike to be built on. This being the smallest sibling of the Himalayan, the pricing might be a bit competitive as well. It will definitely be placed lower than that, and in this segment at this price point, Himalayan was a very value for money product, and the Scrambler also will be a very value for money product. Let's find out how Royal Enfield prices it.
So this was a complete experience and a review of the new Scram 411. For more such videos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. If you have any questions about this particular bike, please do drop it in the comment section below and we'll try to answer them. Srigan signing off. See you in the next video.